Normally we were at a restaurant for this, and normally we have like food and drinks, but today we have food and Shoops milkshakes, which is outstanding. So
some would say better.
I think it's a lot better.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, the whole concept of this program is, first off, it's like Mayor's Night Out. It is Mayor's Night Out, but it's like, what would it be like to go to dinner with the mayor and their staff and talk about city-related business? So this is a little bit more off the cuff. This isn't as formal. And I didn't see Donna Muta's not here this week, but we got my corporate counsel here, Chris Canitar. We got the city controller here, Heather Gray, also a member of the Board of Public Works and Safety, and the chief of staff, Phil Talon. I got department heads in the audience that can answer questions as well. I see the city engineer here. I see the fire chief here. Kevin Smith, attorney for the mayor, is here. So we got a lot of people in the audience. We got IT in the house also. IT is very well represented today between John and Tiffany. So anyway, do we have any questions yet?
What is the sports complex?
Phil, why don't you answer that?
The sports complex.
I'm going to share this so that people can see.
Good call. Is a 135,000 square foot facility that we built, obviously, that just opened. The grand opening was about 2 weeks ago. We have basketball. We have 6 basketball courts, 10 to 12 volleyball courts, depending how we break them down. 2 indoor soccer facilities, elevated walking track, which is a quarter-mile track, which a lot of the community is already using. We have a community room, we have batting cages, and then there's a bunch of other stuff that we make available to Hammond residents and Northwest Indiana folks.
We should bring on Jim and Kim and Beto and see if they want to come over here and talk a little bit. This is something we're very proud of. It was put together halfway with federal loans. We got loans from the federal government for this that is paid off with federal monies, and the other half is paid for out of the TIF district. So your tax bill is not going to go up at all. It was about an $18 million project. Something we're very proud of. We got Jim Taylor. How's it going, Jim?
We do.
Well, thank you. You look good. You want some food? We got plenty here.
That's all right. I'm good right
So,
now.
Jim, why don't you talk a little bit about the sports parks? And I see you got Kim, and I know you got Kim and Beto both there. Maybe we can introduce them as well.
Sure. Yeah, obviously what you're seeing behind us is every now and then we have open gym. It's $5 to come in and play basketball. Today it was from 11 till 9 o'clock, and we have open volleyball going on. And on the other side we have open soccer, which you can't see over there.
And how many people normally come out for this?
Well, we had, on our opening day, we had close to 350 people come in and sign waivers to play basketball that day. It was an hour wait to get on a court. So, it's been really good. And anytime we have open gym, we keep doing it because people keep coming out.
And what's the time limit? If I pay $5, how long can I be in
It just depends on the day, and if we have leagues going on. Sometimes we have leagues, volleyball, we have co-ed basketball, all kinds of different things going on. And as we get going, as we get further into November and December, we're going to have a lot of tournaments coming in. So we'll have a lot of events that we're bringing in over the weekends that will bring people in from all over there.
And do you have to be part of a league, or can you just show up and catch a pickup game?
On a open gym night, you can just come and get in line, put your name down, and you get to play. So first come, first serve.
Jim, we've got a lot of questions about the walking track and the access and
Absolutely.
when that's
Yeah,
open.
we get a lot as well. The walking track is free, actually. So all you do is you come in, you sign a waiver, you get a little card, and you join our walking club. And we've
Sign a waiver just one time, right, Jim?
just a one-time waiver, and once you get your card, that we have you on. So every time you come in, you just give us your card, and you're in the system, and you go walk. And it's absolutely free to anybody. Most of the time, it's 8 to 10 p.m. Monday through Thursday. On Friday, it's 8 to 4 p.m. And on the weekends, it's dependent on if there's an event going on. There's a lot of times we rent out the facility to organizers that are putting on these events, and they charge people to get in. So the city will never charge you to walk at the facility, but if we rent the facility out to an organizer, sometimes they will charge you to get in.
Hey, Jim, why don't you introduce, we have a general manager on the basketball volleyball side, and you have a general manager on the soccer side. I see they're both in attendance. So.
Sure. Who do you want first, Mayor?
I don't care.
All right, ladies first.
Ladies first.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to introduce Kim Roberts. She is our assistant general manager of volleyball and basketball.
A little bit, Jim. Yeah. Here, go have some chili.
Thank you.
All right, Kim, make sure you say your name and have some chili.
My name is Kimberly Roberts, and I'm the Assistant General Manager for basketball and volleyball.
And are there any kind of volleyball leagues for ladies to get involved, or gentlemen, or young
Yes,
people?
on Wednesday night we have Co-ed League. Our first night was actually last night. We had a really good turnout. A lot of people actually came and just watched. They not only played, they came and watched.
Do you have to have a team, or can you just show up and try to get part of a team? Or
For our leagues, you need to be on a team. That's why we have some open gym time available. So if you don't have a team or don't know anybody, hopefully you can come here, play a little bit, get to know somebody, and then develop a team and
Is
sign up for a league.
there a message board where you could put up and say, hey, I'm looking for a team? Or?
Yes, we have a bulletin board on the outside of our office.
I do have a question here from Martha. Are there any sports programs for adults?
We have
Are you doing kind of
men's-
gymnastics or yoga or Taibo or
We have
Zumba?
a Zumba class that wants to come in here. They want to rent out 2 courts and have, I think it was over 200 people to do Zumba for a couple hours on the court. So we're getting more inquiries about that. I have line dancing that wants to
Line
come in
dancing?
here. Yes,
How about
line
square dancing? How about a big parachute? like in grade school, the big parachute, no?
No, not
Oh,
yet. Line dancing so far. Roller derby wants to come in here.
Roller derby.
Yeah, so-
That's a 219-day favorite.
That's right.
We do have a question that wants to know if there's going to be a gym here, like exercise equipment or anything like that, workout room?
No, this is going to be more of a train and play facility. This is where you would come to work on your skills, get court time in, put up shots, kick around the ball, that kind of stuff.
Well, you know, and also, Chris, the same gentleman, Darius, is asking why isn't it a community center? So there are aspects of a community center in this facility. There's going to be community events and activities and all kinds of stuff that where the community will gather at this place and we'll do a lot of different activities. We're not trying to compete with some of the other facilities that we have in Hammond already. The Civic Center has a pool, for example. We have fitness centers throughout Hammond that are doing very well, and we're not trying to compete with them. So we have aspects of a community center, but if you're asking us to be a full-blown community center, then I guess, no, but there's going to be a lot of activities that I'm sure you'll be here for.
Can you rent out that front room, that way, for like birthday parties or?
Yes, we actually have been renting it out this past week for birthday parties, bridal showers, baby showers, you name it.
Nothing says bridal shower like volleyball. I love it.
Hey, Chris, why don't we go ahead and bring on Beto? And
Okay.
Jim, do you want to introduce Beto? Or? Yeah. Thanks, Kim. It's great.
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
Mayor, I don't know if I'm going to have to introduce him because everybody seems to know him in the city, but our assistant general manager of soccer is Beto Reyes.
We should have
Yay.
bring on Hey, Beto, what's up?
Good evening, everyone.
So what do you think of it?
I absolutely loved it. When I first walked in, I was left in shock. I walked in with Jim, and I didn't know which direction to walk into. So, being in Hammond for a very long time and growing up here and playing soccer here and working with the community, walking in is just my light bulb turned on my head. A vision of bringing youth in, tournaments, and all that good stuff. It just came to my brain right away. It was.
So pro or against Guadalajara here?
I'm a Cruz Azul fan, so I apologize.
so no Chivas.
No, I'm sorry, no Chivas.
All right.
Hey, Beto, I see the Morton High School varsity soccer team out in the audience right now, and they just recently won the sectional, right? Well, do you mind bringing them forward? I know you know the team really well. Do you mind bringing them forward? We can bring them on to Mayor after dark?
Absolutely, we can.
Hey guys,
We'll bring out
what's
the
up,
coaches
Coach?
first. So everybody from Morton to come out. Chris Jagadich is the head coach. I've known Chris for a very long time. He's from Northwest Indiana as well. And Juan Soto is somebody who I've been working with for a long time as well in my futsal academy. He's the assistant coach.
Hey guys, why don't you come on
So
up?
they're heading up right now. Very excited for him. My son is actually on the team at Morton. So very excited
What's
for
up,
them.
boys? Come on in.
Be nervous. Look into the
What's
camera.
up? Go Governors. What's up, guys? What's up, guys? Hey, Mile. What's up, boys? Good to see you. Nice
Oh
to
my
see you, boys.
goodness, how many
We got a lot of food if you guys want to help us.
Yeah.
There's still kids missing, I think.
Oh,
You guys hungry?
you guys want some
Come on in.
fries?
How's everybody get on?
They're in season, ladies. I don't.
No carbs?
They're in season, ladies. I don't think they're allowed.
Oh, no carbs.
I might want to ask the coach. I don't know.
Don't be shy, guys. We want to get on TV. That's it.
Yeah, coach says no carbs.
Coach, want to come
Sorry.
up?
They're in season.
I'll eat this for you.
Hey, what's up, Beto?
Could we have the coach come and explain maybe?
What's up, Coach? How's it going?
Could you give us all the gentlemen's names?
Here, go ahead, Coach. Grab it. Excuse me, guys.
You want me to hold your big award?
This is, of course, Juan Soto, assistant coach here at Morton. Does an amazing job for us. All the credit to Juan this year. Ernesto Rojo, freshman. We've got Israel Austria, freshman. We've got Rafael Morales, who's also freshman. We've got Ignacio Cypress, Nacho, sophomore. Giovanni Salazar, junior, next to him.
Here we go.
Number 11, Adrian Bonilla is also a junior. Got Steven Valdez, freshman, 24 in the back. This is Jesus Montes, sophomore. We've got Moy Tirado next to him. We have Paul Bogarin,
You got a young team.
junior, sophomore.
Wow.
That's true. Robert Ramirez is also a junior. Jordan Pinkins is a junior as well. We've got AJ Reyes in the back there. He's a junior. David's a senior. David Figueroa, our captain. And Ivan Munoz is a sophomore on the end there.
Hey, Coach, one thing I know from being mayor for 15 years is Morton has traditionally been known as the powerhouse for football. Are we changing the script right now with what's going on at Morton High School?
Absolutely. We've had 3 unbeaten regular seasons in a row here, and we're looking forward to next year as well.
And your big game was recently, you just beat Munster High School, right?
Right, beat Munster to win the first sectional for Morton since 1992, and we play at regionals on Saturday in Goshen versus Northridge.
Well, I tell you what, I was talking to a couple of guys before we came on, and I wanted to remind them that we have a policy in Hammond that when you win the state championship, you get picked up by the Hammond Fire Department. So I got the fire chief out there, and we're on standby right now. So if you guys win, we're picking you up and we're bringing you home in the fire engines, okay?
From Indianapolis.
Not from Indianapolis. That would be a waste of taxpayer money. But anyway, Coach, congratulations. It's great to see you and the guys on. Let's give it up for Morton High School, Morton Governor's soccer team, guys. So glad you're here. All right, boys, thanks. Please help us eat some of this food.
Yeah,
I'm sure you
please.
guys are hungry.
Whatever the coach will let them.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Okay.
Hey, how are we gonna do? You wanna, yeah.
They can just help themselves.
Yeah. Guys, tear it up.
Keep going.
I think the governors deserve to eat some shoops, right? So.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go.
Give them some of ours, Mayor.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, do we have any questions waiting for us now?
No?
I have properly eaten, so I'm ready to go.
Well, we do have a question about early voting.
Yeah.
Not that it has anything to do with sports, but somebody wants to know if it's open tomorrow.
Well, I just voted yesterday. My son Chase is in town. He's on fall break from college. I just voted yesterday. Went to the Hammond Courthouse, put it on social media so that we remind everybody early voting is currently taking place. There's no reason to wait till election day anymore. Get out there and vote early. I wasn't going to say vote often, but we do need you to get out there and vote. And I want to remind everybody tomorrow, former Vice President of the United States, Joe Biden, is coming to Hammond, Indiana, at the Hammond Civic Center, along with Senator Joe Donnelly and is the basketball player confirmed yet, Kevin?
No, we can just say that we are very close to getting a very famous athlete to also be here.
Okay, he used to play for IU basketball and he plays for the Pacers. I'm going to let you do your own math. Okay, he's supposed to be here tomorrow as well. So until we know for sure that Mr. O is not going to be here or not, then we'll let you know. But so for sure tomorrow we got the former Vice President of the United States. It's at Hammond Civic Center. Doors open at 4
me
o'clock.
get here for a second.
5 o'clock the event
Irish
starts. We
now.
want everybody to get there as early as you can. So we're hoping to pack the house. So.
Mayor, do they need a ticket to get into that?
No, well, tickets were initially required, but now they're saying if you show up, you're going to get in. I'm glad you asked that. I appreciate it very much. So, anyway, all right, let's go ahead with
Exciting
more
day.
questions. You guys have anything?
Yeah, we just re-scrolled. We just
Okay,
restarted.
Civic Center tomorrow. Somebody wants to know if there's a charge to get in.
Hey, when?
At
Here?
the Civic Center.
At the Civic Center?
Tomorrow.
Oh, for the event tomorrow, no, there's no charge to get in.
Okay.
If you wanted to take a picture with the vice president or something like that, they may charge.
They have like
for
a
that.
signing table, like for the sports guys?
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they're going to have some.
Should bring a baseball
If
in?
you want to meet Mr. Biden, I'm sure it's possible. So, by the way, Shoops did an excellent job.
The food is
with the
awesome.
food.
Unbelievable.
I want to remind you, Shoops on the Boulevard. It's the Woodmarsh Shoops. It's located at 7235 Indianapolis Boulevard. It's a family-owned business, been in our city for a long, long time. So they do a great job.
And Mayor, actually, they just did a fundraiser for the Hammond Animal Control. So good neighbors, good partners to the city as well. So we appreciate
So I
it.
want to thank Kevin and Anna from Shoops for giving us the food. Right now, the Morton Governors are benefiting
chicken
greatly
sandwich,
from
everybody doesn't eat
the
beef.
Shoops food. So, all
In case anybody's
right, let's go ahead with questions.
onion rings, if coach will let you have them.
Slow on them today.
I remember, Mayor After Dark is different every time. Sometimes you have milkshakes, sometimes you have Long Island iced teas. Just depends on where you are.
Well, I'm a big fan of the milkshake.
I'm a big fan of milkshakes also. Mine's the first one gone out of all of ours, I think.
have any yet. We don't have any questions. I know we
We
had
have no questions?
we
Hey,
had-
how about in the audience?
We had a young
Wait.
man in the audience who wanted to ask a question.
But we do it- we
By
do
the
it-
way, if we got no questions, we'll just go ahead and sign off. This is
No,
the-
no, no. We do have somebody who wants to know if we're going to put any more water fountains on the paths, on the bike paths.
I wish the water department was here right now. It depends, really. I mean, it's not as cheap as it sounds, you know? You don't just pop a water fountain there. It's got to have a water line. And so I guess, you know, down Lyman it'd be possible, but that's a good question. I don't get asked that one very often, but it'd be helpful if they identified locations, so.
I know we were asked about that when we were doing the dog parks because they wanted to have a filling station for the dogs out there, but at the time I believe there was a dog flu going around, so we opted not to do that. So I don't know if there's similar concerns.
The
but-
old dog flu.
All right, we do have a question. When is the next Mayor's Night Out? Not the
Next week.
And where is
The
it going
traditional mayor's night. We will not have milkshakes and hamburgers at that.
Well,
That's the
Smitty
button-down
night.
affair.
Smitty's come out.
It's next Thursday, isn't it? The next
Wednesday, next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday?
The 17th. 17th, is it in 6th District? I think it's in the 6th.
I'll tell you.
Is
Is it in
Scott?
Morton?
I'll tell you.
It's
Hold on.
Scott.
Scott Middle School, next Wednesday, the 17th, 6:30 p.m., Scott Middle School. So if you didn't get enough today, you can follow us again next Thursday. It'll be a more formal affair though, next Wednesday.
Somebody asked why we don't have a workout room for adults. Did we already kind of answer that? I felt like we talked about.
This isn't really a community center.
Right.
Right.
There's aspects to it, but again, we don't necessarily like Planet Fitness open. I don't know, it had to be like 3 years ago.
We don't want to take people away from Planet Fitness.
Absolutely not.
For the YMCA that we're helping with a $3 million renovation the city's participating in, we're not looking, this is a heads and beds kind of development. We want people to come to our city and to go to Shoops and to go stay at our restaurants and our hotels. And you know that's what we're going for. So.
We do have a question about what's going to happen to the Carson's building next door to the sports center.
So right now,
Hi
obviously.
guys, good job.
Good job, guys.
Congratulations. The Carson's building, obviously Carson's Bonton went bankrupt, so they did close just recently. As of right now, we are getting bids on the demolition of the building because it is an outdated building. Unfortunately, the cost for repurposing it would be astronomical and not really feasible. So we're getting bids for the demolition, and very soon we're going to put out what's called an RFP, request for proposals, for developers to submit development opportunities that they'd like to do potentially right next to our brand new sports complex. So I think maybe in the next 60 to 90 days we'll have more information on that. But I don't think it's a short-term thing. I think at this point, because of what we're able to accomplish here and how exciting this is for the community, we want to build on it. We want something that's going to create synergy with the sports complex. And so we're going to be really careful about picking and choosing what is going to be our next door neighbor to what I would consider one of our diamonds in the city of Hammond. So is that a fair way of answering it? I think that's the best way of.
And Phil, we also have development going on at the old Walmart building. Talk about that a little bit.
We do. There was the Walmart building, after the sports complex was started, the Walmart building all of a sudden was purchased by an investor. And they are presenting plans to the city right now for our review. Nothing has been finalized as of yet, but they're getting very close to putting in a brand new development right next door. And again, that was the point of putting this in to this location, is to have an economic impact beyond just the folks that are going to come to this facility, but also the restaurants, the gas station, the retail that also is going to benefit from this facility. So yes, we're excited about what's going to happen at Walmart as well.
All right, questions? Did we go? We went out there.
It's gone back and forth, Mayor. I don't know if we're getting. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Got a question from the audience.
How's it going, buddy?
Hello.
I can't hear you, man. You got to talk
Yeah,
loud.
Hello.
Can't hear you,
You want
man.
to come on up?
Come on up. We have a young man who's coming up to ask a question.
Hey, buddy, what's up?
First, next, here, have a seat by me. You can have some chili if you wanted it. First of all, have a seat and tell me your name.
Darius.
Darius, and how are you liking the sports complex?
I really like it.
I'm talking to the microphone.
I really like it.
How many times have you been here?
This is my first.
First? Are you planning on coming back?
Yes.
What's your favorite part about the sports complex?
The basketball.
The basketball?
Yes.
And did these big guys let you play? Or do you play with other guys your age?
Well, I haven't seen nobody my age, but I've been playing with my brother. And right now, I think he's probably one.
No questions?
What happened? Yeah,
Right.
somebody's about to get in trouble.
Yeah.
So do you have a question for the mayor about the sports complex?
play it later.
What made him think to make this?
Oh, where did this idea come from is Darius's question, Mayor.
Thank you, I appreciate it, Darius. It came from basically what they're doing down in Westfield. It's a city down in central Indiana. They use amateur sports like this to help redevelop their entire city, so we were thinking along the same lines, Darius. But that's a great question, buddy.
Thank you.
So we appreciate you coming up here, man.
Okay.
Thanks
Good to
so
see you.
much.
You gonna go back and play?
Go find your brother before you get in
Awesome.
trouble.
Good to see you, Darius. Thanks for coming on. Give it up for Darius, everybody.
We do have a question, Mayor. They're asking about, are we going to pave the streets on Locust next to the cemetery, which obviously is very close to here.
Hey, look at that. We got Dean right in the audience. Hey, Dean, want to come up for real quick? Our city engineer. Dean, we got to ask if we were going to pave Locust right next to the cemetery. Do you know anything about that?
Not currently.
Not currently?
We don't have any plans right now to pave Locust, but we'll certainly look into that.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we'll work together with the councilman, see. So nothing planned currently.
Not currently, no, sir.
Is there anything interesting and new happening as far as the engineering, or is this kind of the end of the year and things slow
Well,
down?
we are kind of winding down a little bit, but we're starting to get some engineering projects kicked off for the winter time. We do have some street lighting projects that are wrapping up now. Ridgeland, some in the 6th district. We had 4 streets over there that were getting fired up by the end of the month. Oakley Street is a project that we've been working on right there in front of 18th Street Brewery.
Yeah.
That'll finish up by the end of this month.
reconstruction.
Yeah, it's been a struggle to get that
We
one
do have a
finished.
question. What is the status of Edison Park?
Edison
Status of
Park.
Edison Park? They're,
Yeah, the park
Groundbreaking.
project run through the Parks Department, and my understanding it's scheduled to have a ribbon
ribbon
cutting
cutting.
at the end of this month.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Well, thanks, Dean. Great to see you.
Sure, you're welcome.
Thanks. All right.
You know, we should mention, by the way, there are a lot of sponsors here in the facility, but if there's a business out there that is really looking to get more out there and get people to see the name of their business and whatever else, feel free to contact Jim Talon and talk about the sponsorship opportunities that we have at the Sportsplex.
I tell you what, the ads that they have in the soccer side, they're the coolest. They're literally like 5 feet tall.
You can't miss them when you're watching your kid or
That's
whoever it is play
unbelievable.
soccer.
That's unbelievable. I tell you, the advertising opportunities out here are amazing.
Every time you score a goal, you're like, well, I just scored a Jimmy John's goal, obviously, since the goal is
Well,
surrounded.
that might be good.
He's talking about Jimmy John's. He's got Shoops.
Well,
now.
no. Shoops is.
Oh, this is the same guy. We were at a groundbreaking for Starbucks. He was talking about Dunkin' Donuts coffee. So
Yeah, I think we're losing connection, Mayor. I don't know what's going on here. This is weird.
Static interference.
And I think Jimmy has it booked all the way through June, is that
Every
correct?
weekend.
Every weekend for
Yep.
tournaments.
True.
So there's a lot of people who will be seeing those ads.
this soup is so good. What kind is this? That is so good.
Toscana.
You guys try that?
No, I
tell you, that's the
We had a
secret.
lot.
That's the secret of Shoops. Is the soup.
no, it's the
Everybody
shape.
gets the burgers
good
there.
to
I
know.
get the
Good to
soup
know.
there.
I do have a question that's near and dear to my heart.
What's
Can
that?
you- Halloween. What are the trick or treat hours and what is the day?
Thank you. I don't even know what day it's on, but I'm going to tell you right now.
It's on the 31st. Every
No,
year.
what day of the week. I know what date it's on. It's on the
It's on a
31st. That's when we
Wednesday.
trick or
It's on a
treat Hammond.
Wednesday.
Some people do it on the 30th. I don't understand that. That's like celebrating Christmas on the 23rd.
And if it rains,
If it rains, we're out of luck. It's Halloween. Halloween's the 31st. The mayor does not have the power to change things like Halloween. So Halloween is the 31st. We
what-
trick or treat from
5 to 7?
5 to 7, right. 5 to 7. If it rains, get an umbrella. If it rains, that just happens.
if
We
it's-
live
if
in the
it's cold,
Midwest,
wear a
so-
coat.
That's right. And I know in other cities they like to if it's like sprinkling, they like to cancel Halloween and do it the next day. We don't do that in Hammond. So we went through this. Remember one year a good friend of mine canceled Halloween and made it the next day?
Yeah.
And there was a huge debate about the kids of today. Are they too wimpy or not? And Hammond kids are strong. So.
It's almost as bad as the town in Virginia that made it an ordinance violation for anybody over 12 to trick or treat. We don't have anything like that.
No, we have nothing like that. In fact, Chris and I live in the same neighborhood. We have a lot of kids from. I mean, a lot of kids from,
It's
I think,
fun.
from Chicago that come right to our neighborhood.
It's like Mardi Gras. It's wonderful.
If you're in our neighborhood at Halloween, you have to have 500 candy bars, 500 or whatever you're handing out. That's not an exaggeration.
But it's a lot of fun, and we close the streets down, so it's
Yeah,
safe
it's
for
great. By
everybody.
the way, that's another thing that Chris brought up for Halloween is we have all the public works workers, we have the police out there, firemen are out there, lights and sirens, well, not lights and sirens, but lights for safety precautions. So
Mayor, we had a
don't
question
forget
about...
tomorrow, by the way, Joe Biden's coming to Hammond, Indiana. It's really important that we have a big crowd out there. Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. We talked about the Edison Park, but do you want to talk about the other district parks that are under construction right now?
Right now, Hessville Park. I was just there the other day. Hessville Park's under construction. I don't think that one's supposed to open until into the spring because of the skateboard park. They're not going to be able to pour it in time for the season. So we'll probably open that one in the spring with the splash pad and everything. MLK, we're going to have part of MLK Park open for the winter. The part that's more of the Martin Luther King, where you can pay homage to him, like the park, the Memorial Park.
Memorial.
That'll be open in time for the MLK March on Dr. King's birthday.
Which is always the coldest day of the year.
It's the coldest day. It's the shortest day of the year and the coldest day of the year, probably. But MLK Walk will we'll leave from the new park and it'll go to the Civic Center, and then Pulaski Park. We're still sort of in the planning stages. So those are the 4 park projects. Questions?
There's things coming in. People are making more comments about what we're talking about right now. So they're listening to us and commenting, which is good, I suppose. But
So, Mayor, maybe we should take this opportunity to congratulate your wife. She won a pretty nice award recently, right?
Yeah, that was nice.
Is
Woman of the Year yesterday.
Is she
for
watching?
Lake County Women's Democrats. She should be.
usually she
Like
comes.
in my house, like if I'm on TV, everybody has to watch. It's just a rule we have. But
It's a rule.
I'm just kidding.
we do have a
Like
question.
Patrick, what are you watching right now? I'm on TV.
Well, they've come to this event a couple times too, I recall. So.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
When there's food involved.
We do have a question about what's going on at Indy Illy Park, some sort of construction.
What's that?
Indy Illy Park?
I don't think so.
There's tennis courts are being...
Is Mark Hines here?
Mark Hines.
Where's Mark
Mark,
Hines at?
I
I
saw
saw
him.
him. There we go. Oh, he might have slipped away.
Did he? No.
Oh, there he is. All right.
We need
Yes.
the microphone.
What's going on? Mark, what's going on at Indy Illy Park right now?
We do have a question about what's going on at Indy Illy
What the heck
Park.
is going on at Indy Illy?
Indy Illy's getting good evening and welcome, you guys.
Hey,
But
what's up, Mark?
Indy Illy's getting a new tennis court, so that's actually underway. The old one was removed, the asphalt's been removed, the fencing's been removed, the new asphalt's down. It has to cure for 30 plus days, and once that's done, the coating will be finished on the. If the temperatures work well and it's warm enough temperatures, it'll get painted this fall here yet. The fencing will go up and it'll be ready for play. If not, it'll be postponed to the following spring if the temperatures don't agree with that.
Yeah.
So it has to be a certain. I think it's got to be 40 degrees even in the low temperatures overnight for that to be good. So definitely not this week.
Yeah, I say it's going to get 20 tomorrow.
It's cold in the 30s tonight. I saw. Yeah.
So cover up your tomato plants.
Yeah, your tomato plants is right. That's right. So.
Anyway, the place looks beautiful, Mark. You pretty proud of this?
It is. It is. It's a beautiful building. The people love it that are coming in here. It's really exciting to see. I think it's a great addition to this part of the town. I mean, people are coming and going, and it's still amazing. There's still to this day people who walk in and say, "What is this building?" Which is you get that. And but as an example, I talked to a kid playing basketball yesterday. He came out and he goes, "Oh, there's turf over here. Great, I can practice football too." And I said, "Wow, where'd you play football?" He goes, "Morgan Park." He's coming from the city. He's from Morgan Park High School, South Side. He's coming here already to play. So I mean, that's great. You see the reach of the facility already. So
yeah, that's what the whole purpose is. So
Are there any special shoes you have to wear if you're on the turf? Because I know I had high heels on the other day, and I took them off.
we don't want you to wear high heels
No,
on there.
it was a ribbon cutting.
Yeah, women's footwear is not a big topic of mine, but high heels, I know what those
I
are.
took 'em
So
off. I took
let's
'em-
keep those out of
But
it.
what do we have on?
But just turf shoes?
Yeah.
But turf, we prefer not to have the traditional cleats that you would wear outside, like on a baseball field, soccer field. What they call in the soccer industry flats, or the indoor turf shoes they sell. That's typically what we're having kids wear on the turf side of it. On the in the basketball side, it's traditional gym shoes, whatever. We do ask that on a wooden floor, like most schools and gymnasiums. if you bring your gym shoes with and change once you get here, that's always a nice addition because it just prolongs the life of the facility, so it's enjoyable for everybody for a long time to come. So.
Awesome. The place looks great, Mark. Great job.
The one comment I think I've heard more than any other is when you walk in, how much bigger it is on the inside compared to when you drive by.
It is true. That is true. Yeah, it's really neat to see the amount of space that's in here, and you look at the amount of people in here. Even right now, we probably have solid 50 people in the gym, but they're so dispersed because it's such a large area. It's spread out and takes up a lot of space.
I do have a question. This is also for Mark. Can you talk about what's happening at the old FOP?
We can.
I'm going to defer that to Phil in a second, but I do want to make a mention though. Just you had Morton High School up here, and Mayor, just to remind you, 2011 is when the Hessville Youth Soccer Complex opened up. Those kids are about 17, 18. Those were 8, 9, 10-year-old kids back then. Isn't that a connection there? That they're now winning sectionals because of that facility.
I didn't even think about that.
I appreciate that.
I think that's really a connection. A lot of those kids, I know that I'm involved out there. A lot of those kids have played. So some of that applause that went to them, I think would go to you as well because that's a neat complex and still to this day has solid teams using it and everything.
That's nice. I appreciate it. It's super cool to see.
Yeah.
Also.
But as far as the FOP, I think Phil, you might want to talk about that FOP location.
Sure. Yeah. You can't drive by it and not notice that there's a large amount of steel on the site. We did an RFP not that long ago, and we had a group that came in that's going to build a new hockey rink in the city of Hammond, which we're very excited about. It's going to eventually it'll have 2 sheets of ice. It'll also have a jump zone. That'll be fun for family entertainment kind of activity. I would say where we're at right now, the groundbreaking for the hockey rink will probably be in about 4 weeks, but we're still working through the final details of that. It is not a city-run project. This is a private developer that's moving forward with that, but we're very excited about having the opportunity for not only Hammond kids, but Northwest Indiana have another place to play hockey, because right now I think the only one that's closed is St. John. So I think it's going to be very successful, and Purdue's already talking about tying into it somehow and maybe starting some sort of club team or something in the very near future.
We do have a question. With the new Sportsplex, is the Gene Shepherd Center going to close?
No, Gene Shepherd's not going to close. In fact, it's still busy. Gene Shepherd's more of a neighborhood asset. But what's going on realistically in Dalian Park is Purdue is getting more and more a bigger player in the use of Dalian Park. In fact, they rent the Dalian Park fields from the city of Hammond for $350,000 a year.
Is it 350?
That's
$350,000, right? $350,000 a year, and they've been doing that for the last few years. So, I mean, Purdue is over $1 million into the total cost of the Dalian project. Purdue's a Division II school, athletic school now. So maybe one day Purdue is going to look at, trying to expand into the Dalian Park area. I know Purdue's also made a deal with the Sportsplex leadership here, and Purdue comes into the Sportsplex, and they're going to be using this in a major way over the winter as well. So. I think a healthy Purdue Northwest is healthy Hammond, and so I think you'll see Purdue Northwest stepping up more in regards to the Shepherd Center and Dalian Park both, if I were a betting man.
What's really cool is seeing Purdue expand their footprint. Obviously, the Technology Center opened up about 2 years ago, but now you look to a building, 3 buildings north or whatever, that they just completely renovated, repurposed. Beautiful building, Purdue colors. Obviously, they have big plans for it. It's nice to see Purdue moving beyond just the actual school campus and get more involved in the city.
Chancellor Keon's done a great job. He's really pro-Hammond. I mean, he's like Phil said, the commercialization excellence center. It's gorgeous, and that's where WJLB studios are. And now the counseling center, they just opened a few doors to the north, right over there by Shoop's. I mean, Purdue's really doing a good job on the boulevard, and obviously we appreciate what they do for our city. A lot of our residents work there. A lot of our kids go to school there. In the college-bound program,
A lot of college-bound students go to Purdue Northwest.
Students go to that school, so.
And we make it so that our offer for the scholarship is earmarked to the tuition at Purdue Northwest. So you can go for free and graduate debt-free, which is incredible in today's age.
And not to mention the community service that the students do,
which is nice.
That benefits the
I
city.
imagine they'll be doing a lot of community service here in this building.
Yes, so. I can imagine that we're going to So if there's any college-bound students who are listening, you might want to talk to your college-bound coordinator about getting some volunteer hours here over the winter.
And our volleyball manager here at the sports complex was a college-bound student. So she's been a Hammond resident, gone to school in Hammond, got to go to school on that scholarship, and now she's back working for the city, which is a great story.
I'm sure you could probably use some help here from some college-bound kids over Christmas.
Thank you, that was great.
We do have a question from Jamie. Okay. Said, why wasn't an Olympic-sized pool built as well?
Sorry, I just...
In here?
I'm guessing she meant in here. That would She didn't state that, but
Well,
I don't know.
The
I mean,
basketball players would fall in.
You got to keep in mind, you know, even though we have political boundaries in Hammond, and you know, we got Munster and we got Highland. Munster's got an amazing pool.
Oh my God.
It's literally 2 miles from where we are right now. This is the kind of stuff we get into. Is like, because of our political boundaries, we end up putting assets like pools way too close to each other just because one town versus another. If you want to use a pool like that, I suggest you go down to Munster and go to their gorgeous pool. And I know that they have people that are allowed to go in there outside of the regular hours. So, and just like this sportsplex, quite frankly, I don't think other people should compete with it either. This is our niche. So, but by the way, Hammond had a pool problem, and we're working on that as we speak. We had 4 outdoor public pools, which is unheard of for a city the size of Hammond, and we're working through that issue. It's sort of like what's going on with the high schools and the high school issue that the school cities needs to grapple with. We've been grappling with the pool issue, and the answer is not to build another one. The answer is how many do we need, and you know, where is it going to be?
You mentioned earlier, Mayor, YMCA is going through their $3 million renovation project right now. Obviously, they have a big, huge indoor pool. That's where I learned to swim when I was young, and I hear that from so many people that they took swimming lessons there. And obviously, we have the Civic Center, which is an indoor pool as well.
True.
So.
I mean, you know what's funny, Phil? A lot of people don't. The Civic Center is 365 days a year. We have that pool open. It's used by mostly seniors, but you know, you could rent downstairs at the Civic Center and have parties there. I've had my kids' birthday parties there. It's a great location, especially in the dead of winter. So keep in mind that the pool in the Civic Center is usually about 74 degrees and it's open year round. So that's a great point, Phil.
Dave is, I think, calling you the mayor of Lake County.
Oh, really?
You know about that?
I don't know about that, but talk to the commissioners about that. I don't think they'd appreciate it, but that's nice of you. The cool thing about Lake County is we're all like very similar. Even though you may live in Crown Point, even though you may live in Hammond, we all have a lot in common. We have a lot more in common than our differences. So,
Mayor, there's another question about the Sportsplex. Is there going to be a yearly membership or just the daily?
good question, Jim Talon.
Bring him back.
How's it going, Jim?
It's going good, Mayor.
What's the membership issue? We got bounties too, if you want some.
Yeah, right now we don't have a membership because of some of the things. We don't have a gym, we don't have a workout facility, we don't have a pool, so and the walking is free, so there's really no need for a membership as we get going. We have the open gym times that we'll post on Facebook, on the Hammond Sportsplex Facebook page, that will tell you when you can come in and play open gym, things like that.
And will it be air conditioned in the summertime?
Yes, air conditioning in the summertime, heat in the wintertime.
Unlike the Civic Center.
That's
right.
The Civic Center gets a bit toasty.
Hey Jim, you know, we never got a chance to introduce another one of your GMs. She wasn't here, and I just saw her walk up right now. She's like the business manager of the place, right?
She's the actual general manager, if you really want to know the truth, Mayor. She kind of runs everything. We don't know how to do it. We go to Chrissy, and she does everything.
Milkshakes and stuff like that.
Right, yeah, I think we should definitely bring her in. Chrissy Nelson is in charge of our, she's our registrar and in charge of the concession stand, which actually should be opening this weekend. I don't know if you got a chance to see it, but we're getting real close to having that ready to go.
I want to ask her it's going to be on the menu.
All right,
okay,
Chrissy,
here comes Chrissy Nelson.
Hi, Chrissy. Welcome.
Have a seat, take a look at the camera, and tell us what sort of concession items we're going to have.
Will you have Shoop's milkshakes? Because these are
Yeah, because these are
I
going
wish.
What about the brownies?
Ooh, that looks
Oh,
good
yeah,
too.
they're good.
Well, right now we're having the usual hot dogs, nachos, pizza, and then candies and drinks and things like that. We're trying to make it simple. We want to generate more people to go to our local restaurants, so they can snack here. Yeah, and then go and eat out to Shoop's or Pepe's or House of Pizza. Yeah,
right.
all of our sponsors that are here, and I mean that helps because you see them everywhere, and then they're right down the boulevard. So
Chrissy, you went to Moore High School, right?
yes, sir.
That's right.
Yes, I
High school
did.
girl. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. You know, we had so many people that applied for the GM spots. I mean, we ended up with just rock stars in all 3 spots. I was so happy that you came aboard, and I'm so happy you walked over here because I felt bad when Beto and Kim came up here and we didn't get a chance to introduce you. But
That's okay.
You guys are literally the cream of the crop. That's why you got hired. It's great to see you, Chrissy, and thanks for doing a great job over here.
Oh no, thank you. I'm very blessed to have this position.
It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank
Give
you.
it up for Chrissy, everybody.
Mayor, we have another question. This is right in your purview for sure.
What's that?
Do you ever think Hammond will open an indoor baseball fields for local travel teams?
I'd love to see it.
Room for expansion?
Stressing me out.
Yeah, but like on the soccer side, technically we have batting cages that can be lowered from the roof, and they're great. But realistically, it's more the soccer side's for soccer, not for baseball. So I imagine when Purdue comes over and they bring the softball team, I imagine the soccer team will be on one side and the softball girls and guys will be hitting on the other side. But realistically, I just don't see this being a real big baseball facility. This is going to be so busy with soccer, volleyball, basketball, cheerleading, all that stuff. I just don't see a lot of time for baseball in this location. I don't have any plans currently for an indoor baseball facility, but let's just see how this thing takes off, and who knows what we do with the Carson Prairie site. Maybe it's phase 2. Who knows?
Mayor, we do get a lot of questions about that. Actually, we don't have pitching machines in here, so they're more hitting tunnels.
Right.
So it's more for teams to come in and use and long toss and things like that. That's what yesterday alone, because of the weather, we had Purdue soccer team was here at 7:30 in the morning practicing. Then we had the baseball team and the softball team in here yesterday.
way.
Yeah, and they hit in the tunnels, and it's soft toss in the tunnels, and they use a tee, things like that in here. But there are no pitching machines.
7:30 in the morning. What time do we open?
Well, we opened at 8, but I got here at 7:30, and they were all standing outside. So,
You make the big bucks, buddy.
that's right. Yeah.
All right, good to see you again, Jim.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We do have a question about the.
What's Jim wearing that White Sox stuff?
I don't know. I think he's just trying to be contract.
Can't believe it took you that long.
What's the status of the repainting of the Columbia 165th water tower?
We're in the process of this project happening. I'm glad you asked that. I just read the water meeting minutes from last month where a company from Michigan called Suez is taking over ownership and responsibility of that tank for 15 years. And it's basically, we pay them a fee and they come in, and it includes a complete rehab over the next year. It'll be brand new, built from inside out, and then it'll be painted and it'll be gorgeous, and for 15 years it'll be their responsibility. We have to pay an annual fee to them for the next 15 years, so I'm not sure if they finalize that or not, but this project's moving as we speak. I imagine it begins in earnest probably spring.
It's pretty soon. I talked to Ed about that actually today a little bit, so I think we're getting towards finalizing that contract.
Because normally we would have to do the whole thing ourselves and pay, $5-6 million right now to do it, or we could bring in this company, and this is what they do. They privatize water towers.
And it's difficult to maintain on the inside. We want to make sure that
It's a
it's
unique
quality
water
water.
because it's riveted. It's a different type of water tower than we have anywhere else in Hammond. It's all riveted. It's old school. So, but yeah, this company, that's what they do. Thanks for the question. That's a really, really good question. It is that tower looks rough right now, but I want you to know that help is on the way.
We're not going to read all the compliments, but thank you to
You don't
everybody.
need to read compliments.
No, but there's a lot of
Compliments
people.
are great, but then people think it's all about compliments. We should be answering questions, so I know we have more.
Is that still used as a water tower for the city?
Yeah.
It's
an
functional.
important water tower
Yes.
too. Yeah. The water tower, it really gives the pressure, the water pressure that we have in this building comes from that tank right down the street, so it's vital. I mean, if we take it out of service while it's repaired, it's not like our system's going to be less reliable, but it pressurizes the water throughout this area, just like the Esville tank pressurizes the water in that area. So, in fact, in the city of Hammond, because of a deal we recently made with the city of Chicago Heights, we're going to be building another water tower in downtown Hammond because of additional responsibilities we're taking on in the water department, where we're selling water to more communities. So not only are we going to have to fix the one over on Columbia and 165th, we're going to have to build another water tower in downtown Hammond within the next 3 years so that we can sell more water in Illinois. And every gallon of water we sell in Illinois, we make 4 times as much as we make by selling to any community in Indiana. So it's always incentivized for us to sell water across the border.
All right, Mayor, we do have a question about a crossing guard at Scott School. Are we in charge of assigning crossing guards? It says we need a crossing guard at Scott Middle School.
That's a police matter, believe it or not. It's really a quirk in the law as far as I'm concerned. You would think that the crossing guards, the boss of the crossing guards would be the school city. Not so. Boston Crossing Guards, the Hammond Police Department, always has been, and it's a cost that we pay for. So this is something that we're gonna have to bring to Chief Doty's attention.
Oh, maybe he's watching at home.
I'm sure he's watching at home. So
Frank asks, what is the status of the Hammond High School new building?
good question. I know I have a meeting with Deb White, she's the president of the school board. She's a great lady, coming in to talk to me in a couple days about the latest iteration. But from what I understand, and plus they've already blocked off a lot of the parking lot, the new Hammond High School will be located basically where the football field, or the parking lot, right between the building and the football field is. The new building will be located there. Possibly Soul Avenue is going to be shut down, possibly. We're going to redevelop that entire area, and ultimately where the current high school is will be the parking lot that leads into the new high school. So that's the look they're going for. Obviously it's a school city project. The city of Hammond's not in charge of that, but we're along for the ride. We need to work with them when it comes to zoning and planning, and if Soul Avenue is going to be redrawn, we have to work with them on that. So, but I haven't had, within the last couple weeks, I haven't had the latest iteration, so.
We were asked, are there going to be beanbag tournaments at this facility? I think the answer is that yes, there's going to be all kinds of different activities like that in the future.
Dodgeball.
No,
Yeah,
Jack
dodgeball.
Jack Smith won the employee one, and he's just crowing about it.
Is that who the
Yeah,
question is
it's
from?
from
That's
Jack
funny.
Smith. He
By
won.
the way, I'm announcing this here. We need to get the next City Olympics going, which is dodgeball, and it's going to take place here, right, Jim? So dodgeball, right behind the City Employee Olympics. We got to do it in like November. So
We did
do
have a
City
request for a dodgeball league here, so maybe we'll get some of our employees involved.
Mayor's team won last year. We're the dodgeball reigning champs, by the way. But so in IT, how did you guys do last year, John? Do you remember?
Yeah, I think
IT department.
I think they were
They had a really great walk-up song.
They had the best theme
They're
song.
mathematically eliminated from the
We
playoffs.
just lost
That's
connection
theme
again.
song.
It's
Yeah.
crazy how that works.
That was great. That was great, though. The IT department had a walk-up song, and it was like a 2.5-minute walk-up song. And then they started the match, and they lasted about 35 seconds in the match. So their actual walk-up song was longer than they.
Somebody asked, Mayor, if we're going to build a football field. I don't know exactly. Maybe they're tying it into the sportsplex, I guess. But yeah, obviously that's not a plan right now.
The football field is something that high schools build, and this gets back into the whole. We have 4 public high schools. We have Bishop Knoll. We have 5 football fields in our city. I think we're doing pretty well in the football
I
field.
think Bishop Knoll had trouble fielding a team this year.
What's
so
that?
Bishop Knoll had trouble fielding. So I don't know if football is. I think soccer is the new football.
I agree with you. In fact, there was an article just the other day, I forgot, which I read so many papers, it's hard to keep them straight, but they were talking about across the state of Indiana, how many football teams are losing people, like literally across the board. Obviously, because of all the concussion, related studies that we've been doing lately, it seems like more kids are going into soccer, fewer kids are going into contact sports like football, so. And by the way, they are wimping down the sport. I'm a big football fan. Gosh, kills me. Dang, quarterback's supposed to get hit, right? I don't understand it.
And everybody's saying it. So at this
It's
point,
crazy.
I think they're going to change some of the
I think they're going to
rules.
ruin. I think they're ruining football.
Yeah.
Like it's like if you're a race car driver and then you get in a wreck and they say, "What are you doing wrecking?" It's part of the sport. And if you're going to play a contact sport, you're going to hit each other. If anybody's watching out there and they charge an NFL or NCAA, come on.
At this point, the quarterbacks might as well just have a flag on them, and then you just pull the flag and they're down.
It is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm glad we've taken this subject on, Mayor, after dark.
Yeah.
This is really important stuff.
Can we
The
pass
data
an
center.
ordinance, Mayor? Let's do
Data
something.
center? Data center, I'm not sure lately what's going on, but we closed a deal on a data center on State Line property. It's a $40 million project. It's going to be built along with the biggest Indiana flag in the state of Indiana is going to be located there. It's something the governor and I both agreed on. So, but that's a great project, something we're very proud of.
We're working on the financing right now, so we're been having weekly meetings on it, and it's moving forward.
Awesome.
We got a question from Sarah. How is the crime rate in Hammond these days?
It's great, but we don't talk about that stuff because I don't talk about stats because stats can change. But at the end of the year, when you look at the stats for 2018 as compared to 2017 and 2016, you're going to notice it's going in the right direction. And that's all you could ask. Sometimes you're going to have blips, sometimes we're going to have bad years, but I tell you what, the Hammond Police Department's the best. They work hard. We've given them the best equipment, and they're performing well with it. I mean, every one of our officers has a body camera. Every one of our officers has access to this license plate technology, license plate reader technology, and we're catching bad guys. And 2 weeks ago, my co-host Kevin Smith. Hey, Kevin, how's it going? Kevin Smith and I were on the radio.
Maybe Kevin should come over here.
Why don't you come over here,
Yeah,
Kevin?
Kevin, why don't you come over here and tell us of it? But
Kevin's tired too.
we want to make sure we see.
By the way, every one of us, if we look a little tired, we had the craziest 24 hours, right?
But
we all had to go to Indianapolis last night.
we want to see
extremely
Kevin's
late.
jersey.
Hey, Kevin, what's up?
I'm here.
You gotta watch him with that microphone, Chris. He'll just start
Is it
talking.
on?
Yeah.
Hey, Kevin, what's up?
Good evening.
Hey, what's going on?
What are you wearing?
My jacket is a Tottenham Hotspur jacket, and I've got my Burnley jersey on.
Oh, nice, nice. So anyway, what were we just talking about?
Copper.
We were talking about, this is where I was going,
Copper
why I brought
theft.
Kevin on, is we were talking about the copper wire thieves and how annoying they were. It was a period of like 4 or 5 months where we were getting just, the copper wire thieves would just rip the wire right out of our poles and just, they do thousands of dollars worth of damage, and if they were getting a couple $100 for the copper wire they stole, it'd be amazing. And it was, we were tracking these guys for so long, and finally there was a big theft last week, and Kevin and I go on the radio, and on the spur of the moment we decided to offer a $25,000 reward for the copper wire thieves, and they were caught that night.
It was
We
very.
didn't have to pay their word because it was Roger Cardwell, the lieutenant in Hammond Police Department that caught him, which is part of his job. You can't get...
Roger said right place, right time, but he said there were a lot of police officers involved in that. And just
There were
an
a lot of police
amazing-
officers involved.
Amazing job.
But Roger's the one that identified him, and he's the one that thinks he's entitled to $25,000. We told him that he wasn't, but the happy ending to this story is I saw Roger Cardwell 2 days ago in a restaurant after hours, and I bought him dinner.
Oh.
So I said, we're even, right?
That's
It was
about
a
even.
pizza. And he
25.
agreed, we were even, 25,000 dinner, it's all good. So-
Well, Mayor, one of the things I wanted to mention that you've indicated that's going to happen and is in process is that you want to make sure that the copper thieves are sued civilly.
Thank you, Kevin.
And the update on that
Kevin's
is,
their worst nightmare.
well, probably Chris probably is, but I'll.
Kevin and Chris are their worst nightmare. Not anymore. They have worse nightmares than you two now.
They do, including the courts and the
Wait, hold on.
criminal
Didn't that
justice
guy-
system.
Didn't that guy bail out already?
He might have, but I can tell you, Mayor, a couple things that have happened.
Can you believe
One
that?
is.
The guy did hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of damage. We put him in jail and then immediately bail him out.
All offenses are bailable except for murder.
He paid in copper.
The things that are going on that are good for us and bad for them are, one, the U.S. Attorney's Office has contacted the city and they are
beautiful.
getting involved, I believe. That's not going to be good for our thieves. Secondly, alleged thieves. Secondly,
thieves.
Dean Button, city engineer, and some other folks up at the Port Authority and School City have given us numbers on the amount of theft, the amount of the value of the copper and the amount of the theft and repair work. So, Mayor, the good news is for us is that the lawsuit will be in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, and when you do something like theft, you can treble the damages, which means triple them. So, as you predicted, it will be hopefully in the millions of dollars that there will be a civil judgment against
Can't
them.
wait till we get that money back from him.
Yeah.
Well, judgment-
Unfortunately, in a case like this, these individuals probably don't have anywhere near the assets that they need to satisfy all the damage they did to our city.
That's correct.
And one of them, the defendant's name, that's Echeria, Chris?
I believe that's
Echeverria.
correct.
Echeverria? Well known in the Hammond Police Department. I don't care, I'm saying his name on TV. He's a Hammond resident, Echeverria. He knows Hammond well because he lives here, and he went out and destroyed our parks, allegedly. Destroyed our parks. But when they were pulled over, after leaving a park where lights were destroyed, there was a ton of copper. There was a whole bunch of copper in their truck. So these are the guys. We know they're the guys. We were watching them. And it just sickens me that we have a Hammond resident that destroyed our city and made a couple $100 for doing it. And literally, the taxpayers are going to have to pay 6 figures to get back what we had before, and this guy gets a couple $100.
Well, Mayor, I think
Echeverria. That's him. We should put his picture up because he's a scumbag, seriously. So you're going to go out and you're going to destroy our city for a couple $100?
Mayor, I think you said you wanted to make sure to send a message, and I think you've done that.
We're going to sue him. And granted, he's probably going to default. And if he ever makes money when he's 50 and 60 and he's out of prison, we're going to be able to get it back then. But and we're going to make it a point.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thanks, Kevin.
Well, and they weren't only stealing from Hammond. They were stealing from other communities
Yes.
as well, but
Great
the
point.
Hammond police caught them.
But the great point by Phil, which is important, is they destroyed lights in Calumet City, and they were being watched by the Hammond Police Department. And then they came back across after destroying the lights in Calumet City. We pulled them over in Hammond, That's why the FBI's calling. Now it's interstate. You know, Illinois and Indiana is involved. So great work by Roger Cardwell, Hammond Lieutenant, and all the Hammond police officers that work so hard. Now it's a federal crime, and now these guys are in trouble. So anytime you get charged by the feds, that's a bad day. And, you know, so that's Echeverria.
One more question. We have one more question, actually.
Good. What is it?
BP turnaround traffic and construction on Indianapolis Boulevard and Klein are making things hectic.
Yeah.
How much longer before they start wrapping up with the construction?
BP construction traffic? Yeah. I mean, the bottom line with that is it's about the Klein Avenue Bridge, though. The Klein Avenue Bridge used to accommodate all that traffic, and, you know, so.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it, dude. So.
Yeah, they're working on it. It'll be done soon.
It's a resurface project up on Boulevard up north. They're resurfacing Indianapolis Boulevard.
Oh, okay.
Between Shrug and East Chicago.
Okay.
So it's,
Well, this is the earliest request ever for Festival of Lakes. They want you to drop names for Festival of Lakes for 2019.
I know one. It's confirmed, right? I'm not supposed to say it.
Not yet, not yet.
I love it when you guys tell
Not
me
yet.
that. I love it when you tell me that. I'm not going to say it yet. So, hey, Zealand, how we doing on time? What does Zealand stand for? It's a what? It's a band? Can I wear that hat, please? Yeah, man. I gotta see it, because nobody knows what I'm talking about. Here, I can catch it.
There's no way he's
We do
going
have a big shout out to Ashley.
get him.
Ashley, who works at the Sportsplex, is she here?
Thank you.
There's a big shout out to Ashley. Says she's outstanding, always with a smile, very knowledgeable, and a pleasure every time we go in.
Thanks, Zealand.
Well, tell Ashley that she's gotten a positive comment.
What's that? Is that we're going to get these guys for Festival of the Lakes next year? Is it like electronic?
What, like craft work?
I usually don't let my baseball players do the flat build, John. It's like, do you mind if I curve this? It's like, make sure. So, anyway, it's great to see everybody. I want to thank the Hammond Sportsplex, the management team out here for hosting us. I want to thank Shoops for bringing us great food. Morton boys soccer team for coming out. All the great questions we got. I want to thank Dean. I want to thank Kevin. I want to thank Ray for videoing this. I want to thank Zealand, John, for working the boards.
Zealand, John.
So, Zealand, I love that. So anyway, and Chris, thank you very much. Hammond Corporate Counsel, Heather Gray, about to be recognized as one of 20 under 40 brightest young people in Northwest Indiana. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And of course, the great Chief of Staff, Phil Taylor. So thank you guys very much. We'll be back soon. Virtual Mayor's Night Out. Don't forget, next week is real Mayor's Night Out when we have to actually do this without food and live studio audience. So thank you guys. I'll see you next time.